WAHU.
Yes.
Musician turned anti-diabetes ambassador, campaigner.
Sure.
Welcome to the JSO interview.
Thank you.
There are two words that I use to describe you there. We'll start off with the first, musician.
Right.
You've been in the business for about 10 years now,
Yeah.
with great success. Tell us about a progression and whether it's a good time to be a musician now.
It's actually a very good time to be a musician. I'm happy to have been in the industry for as long as I have been, you know, and seeing it grow, you know, to a place where it's actually people take being a musician as a profession. You know, at the beginning, you couldn't be able to do that because the work that you put in vis-a-vis how much you're getting was not adding up. But now things are getting better. Things have gotten better and they're getting even better. So yes, right now is a really good time to be a musician.
But the mythology has it that before now you sort of did a degree in mathematics or
Yes,
something.
I did.
So you were going to be a mathematician. Did you have to fight against some sort of social pressure to become a PhD in mathematics as opposed to a professional singer-musician?
Well, first of all, JSO, I don't have a PhD in mathematics.
Right.
I have a degree in mathematics, but it's it was not easy either way. However, I went with it because maths and subjects such as those, you know, physics, those sciences, were always seen as if they were guys' subjects. So it was hard also to sort of just, you know, keep going in that direction. And on the flip side, when it came to my music, it was hard as well because that was something that was now generally socially a challenge because people would not think you're serious with your life, you know. I remember once meeting somebody and on the streets, you know, and he just came, that was a while back, right at the beginning, and he told me, oh, I've seen you on TV. Do you know what they say about women who are musicians? I'm like, what do they say? Like, they're very loose. Their morals are very bad. I'm thinking, oh, well, my morals are quite okay, thank you. But you see, this is the general perception that people have. So you have people, it was not easy either way, but these are the things that I love to do. So I just went on.
Okay, but I'm trying to talk about the change because I'm sure there are young people who would like to be WAHU. You're a role model, whether you like it or not. Would you, hand on heart, encourage youngsters to follow in your footsteps?
I would absolutely. What I normally tell people, first of all, is very important that you have an education. It's very key that you have a good education and follow that. Secondly, if you have a true passion, there's a difference between wanting to be famous and wanting to be a star and wanting to be, you know, in the limelight and actually loving the job, you know, is a difference. If you don't have the passion, then don't go for it because you will not last. You will start and you will die off because it's not always what it looks like. It's much harder than it looks like. So that's what I tell people. Yes, if you really do believe this is what you were born to do and you love it and you can actually think about doing it, minus the money. Like if somebody called you to do it, you just love doing it.
Right.
You get?
Right.
Then go ahead and do it.
The idea of making a passion, turning it into a profession, the idea going into restaurants, bars, places where music is played live. There's a band, most people will pay the whole band something I think like 20,000 shillings. A band, probably they're not the superstars that you are, but the musicians whom I come across, 20,000 shillings, there are 4 or 5 of them in the band. How many gigs would they have to play in order to make a living?
I know, it's difficult when you look at it that way.
Yes.
And that's why I also say that it's important to have a passion first. It's also important to have a business plan, you know. It's important because, first of all, if it's not a passion, you'll get frustrated because you will actually look at it that way and say, it doesn't make sense, you know. So once you have the passion, have a business plan. Yeah, and when I say now is a good time to be a musician, is because the forms of making money are really moving away from actually playing gigs, yeah, which is what it's supposed to be, and people are moving more into going. Radio stations, broadcasters are now paying for airplay, which is fantastic. That's how things are supposed to run. Yeah, you know, we have platforms like Skiza, you know, where people go and access and pay for music, yeah, for your singles and that sort of thing. So if you have a good business
but at the same time, there's the download culture. It seems to me that any music that I wish to hear, and I'm talking from a personal standpoint, I wouldn't, maybe I'm making a terrible admission here, but I'm sure there are others like me where you can either get it for free, download it, not from a stream where you're obliged to pay. You can find somebody on the side of the street who will give you WAHU's latest in some sort of DVD for nothing. It seems to me that even if you are rich, the point that I'm making, you could be richer. Whereas me, with my job, my salary is static. I have a certain feeling that I can plan around. You're waiting for manna from heaven, so to speak.
You know, business is like that, and every business is like that. There's no business that I know of that is guaranteed, unless, like you said, you have a job where you have a guaranteed income at the end of the month. Now, in our business, those are the loopholes. Yeah, you have a lot of piracy happening, and you have, you know, there are some things that are hard to deal with. Yeah, and the beautiful thing is now we are feeling very hopeful with the new government, and we are feeling a lot more support.
Why with the new government? What was wrong with the old government?
Oh, that's such a long story, JSO.
Because this idea, you're sort of, I've been very happy for the last 3 months.
No, I have been happy for a very long time.
Right.
But I am more hopeful now, because it was almost like the culture that was there before was not paying a lot of attention to the music industry yet. On the flip side,
I could accuse you of just being, you know, a spokesperson for the new government. I'm saying
no, I really am not.
I'm just saying. I'm saying, what has happened in the last couple of months that gives you cause for hope that wasn't there before?
Well, small things, Jay. So it meant a lot, first of all, that the president right now went for the Groove Awards. You know, it meant a lot. That in itself meant that he identifies that this is an industry worth recognition, worth me attending. We've never really had a head of state before going for a function such as that.
Well, that's probably because they're all, you know, 70 plus, you know, at the age of...
That's my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
A young president.
Yes.
Yes, who feels the groove.
He does feel the groove, and also he supports it. Right. You know, we know that the president too is you know, he owns other businesses. He's in the hotel industry, he's in the media industry, and all of those are paying what they're supposed to pay. So this is a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So good times ahead, because the leadership, the will from the top is wonderful.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to this idea of checks and balances. What, again, we read in magazines, in gossip columns, that you've made a prodigious amount of money because of your downloads and everything. That's all right for you. What about if I want to be you? How am I going to make sure the Copyright Society pays me as much as they pay WAHU? Okay,
first of all, that's why it's very important, and that's why I was saying now is a good time to be a musician, because there's so many factors that are important. You have to have the education first about the business aspect of it. You have to know. Number two, we have MCSK, we have similar CMOs who are acting on our behalf, right? Not completely where they're supposed to be, but at least they're trying. I say compared to what used to happen even as close as 5 years ago to now, there's been a good you know, improvement in how they're paying their members. Yeah. So I'd say that it's important for the person to know, to also educate themselves, not just wait on whoever Oh, Saidia Mimi. No. You have to go out there, arm yourself with your information, know what your rights are, know when they're being infringed, and know how to take it from there.
Right.